Welcome back to ABCNews.com's Top Line. We're joined now from the Washington Post by Ceci, Connolly, the excellent healthcare reporter and an expert in this field. And we appreciate you joining us for a couple minutes. And Ceci, I want to start with what we're expecting to hear from the president this weekend. He's going to go out to all the Sunday shows. Do you get a sense that there is a new White House message, or are we just going to see it delivered on a couple of different stages?
Well, it's hard to predict, but my sense is that the White House message is something that has continued to evolve. And just a little while ago, we heard First Lady Michelle Obama saying that she thought that the Baucus bill was a pretty reasonable bill. And so that's kind of a little hint of how the family is feeling about that piece of legislation. I expect that we'll see some more elaboration on that bill out of the president. I suspect that he will also continue his basic theme of he's flexible, i.e. let's do some horse trading to line up the votes.
Well, Ceci, speaking about lining up those votes, it seems to me, and perhaps you have some insight into this, it seems to me that part of the problem with the Baucus bill for many Democrats is that it sort of goes to the heart of the issue of affordability for the middle class on two fronts. You've got you have the president's sort of why he was initially opposed to individual mandates in the campaign. He thought they couldn't afford it. Well, now the subsidies may not be large enough. I mean, Olympia Snowe seems to be the left of Max Baucus on that. And then you have like Rockefeller and other guys saying you have these tax on the insurance companies for these gold-plated plans that'll get passed on to the middle-class consumers. So they're going to get taxed, and it's not going to be affordable enough. Those two, that seems like a huge mountain for Obama to climb.
Well, newsflash, health care isn't free. And what Senator Baucus discovered, as everybody who heads down this path discovers, is that if you want to provide decent health care to tens of millions of more Americans, it costs money. And Senator Baucus was very cognizant of the Obama mandate to not increase the deficit. Baucus was determined to come in under that scary $1 trillion price tag, and he has accomplished that. But in accomplishing that, he has not necessarily provided as generous coverage as a lot of people would like. And so that's the tension. I fully anticipate that when we go into the action in the committee next week, the markup, we're going to see any number of amendments that are going to try to be a little bit more generous. The challenge, of course, is that you'll have Baucus, people like Senator Conrad, deficit hawks saying, hang on, how are you going to pay for it? And that's the magic recipe that they're striving for.
Was the Baucus bill, do you think, was it helpful to the White House efforts to pass reform, or did this linger too long to be productive as part of the debate?
Well, probably a little bit of both. But that said, you guys know, I mean, everything in Washington takes a long, long time. Members of Congress like to spend a good bit of time in meetings. I don't have any idea why, but they seem to enjoy these sessions with each other, talking it all through, telling their stories from back home. So it is kind of in their DNA to work through these problems. I still think there's time on the legislative calendar. It's getting a little bit tight. I think you'll see Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid really kind of crack the whip a little bit now to keep things moving. But from a White House perspective, their goal all along has been that magic conference committee when you have a House bill and a Senate bill and you bring them together. And that's where the White House thinks that they get in the room and they really cut the deals.
Ceci, look into your crystal ball very quickly in 5 seconds. Vice President Biden, President Obama, others say by Thanksgiving there will be a bill. You think that makes sense, that timeline?
I'm thinking a little closer to Christmas.
Okay. All right, we'll be there for all of it. Ceci Connolly, Washington Post, thanks for being here.
Be sure to tune into This Week on Sunday with George Stephanopoulos with his interview with President Obama. You will not want to miss it. Be sure to tune in on Sunday. That does it for us.
Twitter.com/TheKnow. Keep the conversation going. We'll see you back here on Monday. Jimmy Carter's a dum-dum.